Okay, so hi and welcome, Anand and Rajeev, for another episode of our editorial podcast. Again, talking about 5G security. And today we wanted to go a little bit into the necessity of virtualization in 5G. Anand, I'd like to start with the very first question. Why does 5G actually require virtualization and cloud native?
Yeah, hi Patrick. Good to do our second round of this video for Cybersecurity Magazine. So 5G, as you know, it provides new technologies, new solutions to everyone. And until 4G, actually 4G also has been virtualized. The idea in general was that you have boxes, bare metal, on which all the solutions sit. With 5G, we are moving to virtualization and cloud, I would say, which kind of makes it easier to bring services in, makes it faster to deploy, and brings common technologies to the mobile communications market. Yeah? Cloud-based and all the web-based protocols can be used for mobile communications now. In short, that's why how 5G and mobile communication benefits with virtualization and cloud or cloud native.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is calling from US now. The one particular question that I have about the 5G and virtualization is how can different user groups, different than IT and telecom, participate in this business?
Yeah. So as I very briefly mentioned, moving from bare metal to softwareization, virtualization, and cloud native in 5G, making mobile network based on completely commonly available technology, and I would say it's more of an IT kind of technology than the mobile communications kind of technology. It makes it easier for anyone to come in. It makes it easier to deploy new services faster. So you can, being a cloud native kind of solution, you can always change the pieces of software. As such, the 5G standard is also very modular. So you can change bits and pieces of it. You have API, lots of use of APIs, allowing new partners to connect through API and utilize the power of 5G behind that. Yeah. So you can get new services, new solutions. Actually, if you think of it, you can also change the vendors of each part of the network very easily. Yeah. So that way people benefit out of it. And of course, there's a cost benefit as well associated to all of this.
Yeah. Okay, but then you mentioned that with 5G, you're moving from bare metal to a more software-based approach. And, in security, we all know that software is vulnerable. Doesn't that make 5G more vulnerable than 4G and the predecessors?
Yeah, actually, if you think of it, there are different ways to think of it. Actually, if you look at 5G, even the radio part goes into virtualization. You're hearing about Open RAN and ORAN and all these things also happening. Yeah. So now certainly, if you softwareize thing, the people say more issues can happen, and if more issues can happen, that means if more bugs can happen, more attacks can also happen. But this aspect has been done for 4G as well. It's not just for 5G, just to be very clear about it. Virtualization is just a means to make mobile communications in a different way than the boxes. Yeah. So now, in terms of attacks, if you think of it, certainly, if as you open more, as you utilize more common things, attacks can increase because the technology is more easily accessible. But on the other hand, without getting into more technical details of it, if you look at the cloud era, we are in the cloud era. You are seeing so many commercial solutions available out there. There are sufficient technologies to secure them as well. And when you talk about mobile communications, because it is a critical infrastructure, you have solutions to protect it, have improved protection for cloud-based mobile communication networks. Yeah.
But then cloud security itself is a relatively new field in cybersecurity. Are there enough solutions already out there which can also protect 5G networks?
I think so. Actually, we just deployed something, and it is being deployed all along. Let's just step back and take things practically. What you see is when we are talking about a cloud-based mobile network. Yeah, let me take it one step at a time. You will have the normal IP-based infrastructure. You have to give a network-based protection for that. Yeah, you will want to have some kind of firewall, some kind of DDoS protection, and things like that. You can have it bare metal based. You can have it softwareized. You can have it in the cloud, whatever means you want to have for that. So that's one thing. After that, you have the whole infrastructure. That's your hardware, your OS, the virtualization layer. You need to protect them, and their hardening and many other such solutions, such as identity management, stuff like that, will be required. And of course, you want to do the monitoring of those. Yeah, these are nothing very new actually. And then on top of that, you have the virtual machines. We are talking about VMs, and you need protection for that. Actually, having it virtualized, on the other hand, will make it even easier to monitor them, to manage them, to control them, to even change them. So potentially, you have much improved security, I would say.
So to summarize, 5G on one hand needs virtualization and also cloud, or to deliver services more flexible and faster, which in terms of security makes it more vulnerable because you're moving from hardware to software. But on the other hand, you have the advantage of being able to leverage all the security solutions which are already out there for current IP-based IT infrastructure. Is that correct?
Yep, and you can certainly give very, very enhanced security solutions there. And as we discuss about technologies being software based, you can have advanced security solutions to monitor. You can have advanced security solutions to know all your assets in the network. Yeah, you can have advanced security solutions to do very good identity and access management, things like that. And of course, the rest of the security as well. You would be easily giving out or managing the credentials, changing them, and then having secure channels as and where you require. Yeah, and with all the data being gathered, you can do very good and correlated monitoring. With that, a very good control of the systems as well, as and when or before the issues actually happen. Yeah.
So in essence, you can use a lot more synergies than you would have been able before, where mobile networks and say IT networks were pretty much separated.
Exactly, true. I completely agree with that.
Okay.
Maybe I can add few closing points also here, that and moving from virtual machines as is happening in the cloud world, going towards containers, smaller, faster to change and deploy. You see, you can take care of vulnerabilities, remove the container, bring a new one, and then moving towards serverless, which truly brings us towards cloud native. Yeah, we will see the mobile communications, 5G related credentials being now stored in the software, but there are means to secure them as well. So I think we are in perfectly good state. So those are last few words from me, and of course we'll go to the next step. So from Germany to Japan and now to US, Rajeev, you have a few words.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, stay tuned for the next edition of our podcast. I suppose one of the things what I would like to conclude with is the deployment, how far away we are from the deployment of all of this at a global level. It could be another interesting point to address, and the implications of all of that. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.